Hi everyone, Amy here with Amy's Wares, and today I have an easy stenciled card, which honestly would be great for anyone, but it's also a good idea for a masculine card. Now this is the new Measured Geo. It's a 6x6 stencil. It's part of the January 2023 release at A Colorful Life Designs. I am going to use these Paradise Found inks from the Spa collection at Catherine Pooler. I have an A2 size card base of 110 pound Nina Classic Crest Solar White cardstock. And here are a couple photos of the finished cards. It's actually very low profile. I did the ink blending directly on the card base. So the only dimension here is actually the sentiment, which is slightly popped up on the front of the card. But I am going to use my magnets here. I actually have a new glass mat here, as you can see, and it's magnetized with these really cool magnets that you can order with it, and it's going to help hold down my project while I do my ink blending. So I'm going to pick this color Green Tea. I'm also going to pick Sauna and Juniper Mist. So these are the three colors that I'm going to blend together for this card. Now my ink pads are really juicy, so I'm going to kind of pounce off some excess on a scratch piece of paper to the side, just because I did load these up full of re-inker ink and they're very juicy, so I don't want to go too crazy. But I'm going to start in the opposing quarters with the yellow. I'm just kind of winging it. I don't really have a plan. Honestly, I'm not even sure how good these colors are going to look together when all said and done, but I know since they're kind of analogous on the color wheel that it should be okay. So now I'm moving on to the green tea and kind of blending that more in the center of the card, but still working at the diagonal, allowing it to overlap slightly with the yellow. Now this pad doesn't seem to be quite as juicy as the other ones, so I'm not having too much excess ink to deal with here, but I am using my blending brushes. These are my favorites. I get them from the Rabbit Hole Designs. It's another small woman-owned business, and I've been using them for quite a while. I do have one set designated for my dye inks, like these Catherine Poolers, and then I have one set designated for my Distress Oxides, because those are a hybrid and they have some pigment, so they kind of gunk up the brushes a little bit differently, so I like to have a separate set for that. Now I decided to go over the green and the yellow with the Juniper Mist, and again, I really wasn't sure how it was going to look, but I kind of like how it muted the colors down even further and gave it kind of an interesting look. Now an option, if this white is too bright for you, you can kind of bring some residual ink and light-handed go over and kind of tone that down, but I kind of like the contrast in this case, so I left it. Now here I have one of my sentiment books, and I'm just picking what die cut sentiment I want to use on the card, and I only had to flip a couple pages in and I found this gorgeous Here For You die. It comes with the word portion as well as the shadow layer, and I did get that from Simon Says Stamp. And I will link all the products that I used in the video description box below. If you expand and scroll down, you'll find those details. Now, rather than using liquid glue to attach these two pieces together, I'm just going to use my micro dots. I get these from Amazon, and again, I'll link those below, but they are mini micro dots, and they kind of go all over the back, so it eliminates me having to deal with the oozage of liquid glue, which is not my favorite. So I'm just going to attach that to the shadow layer, and then I will use some little black foam squares that I have in my stash just to kind of pop up the overall sentiment on the front of the card. So here I'm just using my picker tool. I had a little extra piece of the die cut on there, and it was bent up a little bit from storage. I wasn't the most careful putting it back in, but I'm just going to put a smattering of these on the back. I like that they're black. They kind of go well with the black cardstock of the shadow layer. Obviously white foam tape is fine too, but I think I might look into getting one of the actual foam rolls of black tape. I've seen a couple companies I think have that, and I think that would be a nice addition to have in my crafty stash. So I'm just going to remove these backers and then place this down on the front of the card. And then I do decide it needs a little something else. I was debating on doing blingage, but I wanted to keep it pretty simple. So instead I grabbed my corner chomper here. There's a 1/4 inch and a 1/2 inch option, and I'm just going to do the 2 opposing diagonal corners, and that's going to give it a little something extra. So that's going to finish the card. Super simple, not much to it, came together quickly, but you could change the sentiment out, make this a birthday card, any sort of card that you need. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and be sure to check out the rest of the release. There's tons of good ones this month. So I have a coupon, so don't forget that at checkout as well. So have a good day. Thanks.